Welcome back. Today we have a special guest. Today we have Cowles. She is an amazing author, one of my new absolute favorite authors. I have been binge reading all of her Reckless series, and this is her first book, you guys. This one is actually down below in the carousel free right now. She's got 2 free books for you guys right now. Hey, Paula, welcome to the live stream. Catherine, please introduce yourself. I am so excited to have you on the show today.
Hi, everyone. I am Catherine. I am a romance author. I love books that combine emotional romance with a little bit of suspense to kind of keep the story going. I live in Central Oregon, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Oh, well, we're so excited to have you. One of the things I love about your books, like you just hit on, is the suspense. It's almost like if you're not even a romance reader, these are good because it's got some depth to them. I just read your newest one that releases September 21st, right?
Yep, that's right.
This one was really suspenseful. Yeah. I did not see this coming. I was like, I got kind of nervous. I think I Instagram messaged you. I was like, I'm getting a little nervous because I need to find out what happens here. And sometimes when I get really nervous, I have to like skip to the end just to make sure everything's okay.
I did the same thing.
I didn't do it with this one.
Bravo!
And I was like, I did not see that coming. So, so good, so good. So let's talk a little bit about the series. Let's start with this first one because you guys can actually grab this today, free, you guys. And this is the gateway drug to Catherine Cowles. Welcome to the new addiction in a good way.
So much.
So where did the inspiration for the Reckless series come from?
So I really, growing up, I went to the San Juan Islands off the coast of Washington State. And as I started writing more books, I really thought about how fun it would be to set a series on an island. There's something about having that confined space that really raises the stakes to me. So that was kind of where the idea started. The hero in this book, Ford, he was in my very first book called Further to Fall. He was a secondary character, and people had been asking about him and when is he going to get his story? And I just kept saying, when the right idea comes. And finally, because I knew a couple of kernels from that book about his kind of backstory. And so then an idea hit me and everything just kind of snowballed from there.
He was a really powerful character too. There were some sad parts in that, but in a good way. It was deep. So this is her first one that's free right now, Reckless Memories. And then you guys can pre-order her newest one, Beneath the Wreckage. And that's down below too. So when you were writing this series, did you write it start to finish or did you bounce around a little bit and come back?
I wrote it start to finish, this one. And originally I had thought it was just going to be 3 books. There's 3 best friends, the heroines. And I was like, it's just going to be a 3-book series. It'll be great. And then these other characters kind of started talking in my ear. Yeah. And I was like, but I need to write this. And the character in Beneath the Wreckage that started talking to me was Hunter, which is Ford's brother, from book 1. And ever since I wrote that first book, I just kept getting hit with idea after idea for him. And he's really kind of gets put through the ringer in this series. So when we get to that final book, we're just so rooting for him to have his happily ever after because he's been through a lot.
Kelly said in the chat, "Hi, ladies. I love Catherine's books. Heart eye emoji."
Thank you.
Kelly. Which one is your favorite, Kelly? And all of you guys watching, we have a lot of people on right now. Welcome to the live stream. Tell us what your favorite Catherine Cowles book is. If you don't have one yet, guess what? You have your new 2 favorite ones. She also has, guess what? This one free down below too. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. So you can get 2 free books today instantly on your Kindle or your whatever device you're reading on. I have a Kindle. Paperwhite, that's my love. It's on the charger right now. I was just reading all morning preparing, but this one is free as well as this one. So 2 free books today just for joining the live. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
So, that is awesome. So how did you get started writing?
It's kind of an interesting story. I've always been a huge reader from when I was little, nose stuck in a book forever. And I got bucked off a horse and really hurt my back badly and was kind of bedbound for a period of time. And I was reading a ton of romance and I just really fell in love with it. I was reading like a book a day, so addicted. And when I was going through this rehab process, I just thought, if there ever was a time to try and write my own book, that this would be the time. I wasn't working. I had all this time, I was just doing physical therapy. And I was like, I want to try at least once. That's all I have to do. If I write one book and then I decide I hate the process, I never have to do it again, but I'm going to do this at least once. And I just fell in love with it. I love creating these worlds. I love thinking about difficult situations and how we can turn them around and give them a happily ever after, because that doesn't always happen in life. And it's one of the things I love about romance is being able to fix everything in the end. That's just a really wonderful thing.
And you have some hard characters too. I remember getting really mad reading this one at the mom. I was like, I'm like getting really mad. I'm like, this lady.
She's not nice.
And my husband's like, it's a book. It's a book. And I'm like, it's not just a book. It is not just a book. I'm emotionally invested now. Okay.
I love that so much.
Yeah. There were times I'm like, I just wanted to Instagram. I was like, I'm going to just tone it down just a little. But I wanted to be like, can you believe this? Oh, of course you can. You wrote it. But I just would get so mad. I'm like, I cannot believe this person. Oh my gosh. What are you currently working on now?
So I am working on a new series that launches next year. This is book 1 is Tattered Stars. And I have to say I'm pretty obsessed with it.
I'm going to have to just, after the live stream, go ahead and book you for when this releases.
I can't wait.
Yes.
It's
okay, wait, we got to see that cover again.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Wow. Tattered Stars. Love your cover. Holy cow. Okay. Tell me more. I'm going to have to know more.
So in the Wrecked series, in book 4, we meet a character named Everly. And I was really intrigued about her backstory. And I just kind of started thinking, and this whole kind of world just filled my head. And it's been one of my favorite writing experiences, writing this book and working on this series. It kind of surrounds one event, a girl that was kidnapped when she was younger, and she is rescued. But it affects her family tremendously, and they all deal with it differently. And so it's kind of exploring how, a trauma like that can change people and how it can affect your relationships and how you move through the world. And so it's a real blend of, again, that romance and that suspense, because each book has a suspenseful through line. And it has just been so fun to write. And this first book is Everly, who's trying to start an animal sanctuary, and the hero is the sheriff, which is always fun.
Oh, you have your covers. I mean, if you guys have not seen her books, I love my Kindle, but I love a beautiful book, and her covers are just art. I mean, art. So one of the other things I want to share with you guys is I love when I love like detail. And in her books, at the start of every chapter, she's got the watercolor, and it's just so beautiful. So I don't know.
Until you see this second. Let me see if I
can. Oh my, stop it. Oh, my heart. Is it like that at the beginning of every chapter too?
Uh-huh. I'm going to have to send you this one.
Okay. I'm going to put that in every book haul from now until you launch, because everybody needs to pre-order it. Now, when is that one coming out? Please say tomorrow.
February 1st.
Stop it.
It's a little bit away.
It's okay. I'll
There's
stay
no
busy.
pre-order.
I'll stay busy with the rest of the Broken series.
There we go.
That'll last me until like 2 weeks, but maybe we can reread. I don't know. Kelly says that cover is beautiful. It is beautiful. What's the back look like?
So much.
Oh, and even the back is pretty. Oh,
Yeah,
get out. Everybody's doing heart eye emojis and whew, yes, that is beautiful. So that's exciting. So what is your Instagram handle?
Is Catherine Cowles author. So coming out, I post a lot over there. I love talking to readers and seeing what you guys are reading and hearing all about your favorites. It's a fun place.
And also, for those of you watching, be sure to follow Catherine Cowles on Amazon here, because Amazon will let you know if she puts something out, so you won't miss any of her books. I figured that out the other day. I started following my favorite authors, and then I realized, oh, somebody snuck a book out. I would have missed it.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes books will go free, like you have some books free, and you won't miss those either. So make sure you guys follow Catherine here on Amazon as well. And so what are you, okay, so you're writing that series. Is that going to be a series or is that a standalone?
5 books.
Okay, so I love that about you, that you're a series girl.
Yeah, I love it. It's because it's impossible for me to write. I tried to write one standalone, my first book, and I ended up like taking characters from that book and starting 2 different, because I just get attached to them, and I'm like, no, but you need to have a happily ever after too. And these voices start talking to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm hopeless. I have to do a series.
So what's your style of writing? Are you a binge writer where you sit and like have to get it out, or are you a 2,500 words a day girl or whatever?
I'm slow and steady. So I'm usually writing somewhere between, it's typically around 3,000, sometimes a bit more depending on my schedule. That my brain after, 3,000 or 4,000 words starts to get a little fried. So I have started writing in the morning and editing in the afternoon. So I'll be working on a couple of books at once, and that kind of shift from stories, the type of work that I'm doing, it really helps my brain kind of stay sharp and all of that.
What is the hardest part of the writing process for you?
I think the hardest part is editing, is knowing what changes to make and what changes not to make, and finding the path there is really challenging. I'd say that's the hardest.
I think the flow of your book is fantastic. I mean, there's no sharp edges.
Oh, thanks.
No sharp edges, very flowy. You definitely have that down pat. I mean, your writing style is very beautiful, very easy to read, very flowy. Sometimes, you are like, I got to stop for a little bit, but I had the opposite problem with you. I was like, I know my kids need to eat, but I'm going to need them to go make a sandwich because mommy's busy right now reading.
I love it.
I'm like, we can do takeout all weekend, right? Wait, we don't forget.
This is an emergency situation.
Yes. Okay. I also loved a couple of your nods in your new book here. I don't do spoilers on here. I know you guys are like, but you said something about Troop Beverly Hills, and I was like, I love that movie. It's one of the best movies of the 80s, or was it 90s? I think it was 80s.
I think it was 80s too. Yeah. I have a Troop Beverly Hills t-shirt. I love that movie.
Oh my gosh. I think I have this curse where I memorize every movie I hear. I don't know why. And I can repeat movie quotes in conversation. My husband and I will often have whole conversations in movie quotes. And people around us are like, why are you like this? Why are you doing this? And so I always say, what is that in Troop Beverly Hills? The Muffler Man.
Oh my gosh. I totally forgot about that until you literally just said it.
And she's like, and then I thought of you with the author in the book. Remember the mom that's the author, and she's got like the tape recorder, and she's like, and
I forgot about that too. I need to rewatch. It's been so long.
Okay,
I'm gonna rewatch it this weekend
again. Yes, but yes, everybody's saying in the comments, yes, Troop Beverly Hills. I thought that was one of the best movies of our childhood, right?
I know.
There's so many
love it.
good movies came out of our childhood.
I know so many. And I'm always, I'm wary of putting like present day stuff in books, like a movie that came out yesterday. So whenever I mention like a movie or a TV show, it's usually old, like it's something nostalgic, and it's always fun to go through my memories and think about, okay, like what were some things from my childhood that I loved, or, things that I found later in life, but that are older. So, like I talked about the Babysitter's Club in there and the Hardy Boys.
Filling up that cart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those were the books of my child, and Sweet Valley High.
Oh my gosh, I was addicted to Sweet Valley High. My mom was like, how many of these books do you need?
All of them.
Exactly.
The answer is all of them. I want to fill my bookcase with those. I actually, when you said that, I was like, I need to start looking at the Goodwill and stuff for the series. My littlest is 6 and she's into Junie B. Jones, and they all just came in the mail. I ordered her like a whole box set of them. And I love reading so much. I love getting kids into reading. I love getting adults back into reading. Since I've been doing this show, I noticed a lot of people around me, friends and family, they're like, you're getting me to read more. And I'm like, of course, you should be reading more. So if you guys are, getting back into reading and you need something to get started with, here you go. Courtesy of Miss Catherine Cowles, 2 free books, and you won't be disappointed. Now, I haven't gotten to read the Broken series yet. I'm trying to pace myself because now I got to wait until February for your new one. But I can't wait to dig into that. And you guys can dig into it too, and let me know over on Instagram and Catherine how you're loving it. And what are some favorites that you're loving right now? I know you gave me a list. Let me scroll through because I always love to see what other authors are reading. And so you have.
Yeah, tell me what I'm reading so much. I'm like,
you know who you have on there? I actually have her book right here. There with you. Do you have the arc to that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I have the first one. And
it's my
second one. I have she's going to be on the show.
Oh yeah, let me. I've got a.
So I haven't met her yet. She's going to be on the show coming up on. Goodness, let's see. She's going to be Samantha.
She is one of my favorite humans. And
oh my gosh. Okay.
This is my favorite series of the year that I've read.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then I cannot wait to dig in.
You're going to love it. It's that blend of romance and suspense.
Ooh, okay.
So wonderful. And it's set in Scotland, and it's got this really
Scotland?
Yes. It's got this world that she sets is just so rich. It's so fun. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it.
So excited. She's going to be on the show October 4th. So that'll be exciting.
Right. I'm
I'll
so
have to
glad.
let her know that you recommended. You also recommended Tangled, A Small Town. That was by Laura Pavlov.
There's 3 books out in that series. I loved all of them. Lots of small town feels, that kind of coming of age, first love, because book 1 is set in high school, and then it moves to college, and then it's going to move past college, and it's a different couple for each book, but it's this group of friends. It's so fun, so romantic. She's got these pops of humor that are really just wonderful that I love when I'm reading.
I cannot wait. That's on my list now too. And let's see some others. Oh, A.L. Jackson. She's going to be on the show tomorrow. That was so good. I have that one up there on my shelf. That was good. That was steamy. I loved it.
I know. And it like wrecked me. I was like, you put me through the ringer and like the best way possible. But I was
at the end, I was like, once again, did not see that coming.
I know. And I was like so nervous. I was like, I know it's a romance. It's supposed to have a happily ever after, but I'm nervous.
But I'm like this. It was my first book I'd ever read from her. So I was like, I really hope this is going to turn out okay for these people because I'm emotionally invested.
She's an amazing writer. She's got real like lyrical prose that's just beautiful.
I feel like you're similar though.
Oh, thank you. That's a big compliment.
you have a good flow like she does. I feel that. Yeah, like I told you earlier, you there's no start and stop with it. Was very just flow. Like the story flowed. Very, very good. So, and then you put Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us. I just finished that.
So I have read a number of her books, but I had not read that one. I was a little bit nervous just because I knew it was going to be a hard read. And it was my month to choose in my book club what book to read. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pick this because then we're going to read it together. I'm sure we'll have amazing discussion. And so I picked that book, and it was the best book club that we've had.
So good. So good. And did you read Verity?
I haven't read Verity. I don't know if I'm brave enough for Verity.
It was good. It was really good.
I made a friend tell me what happened, which is so cheating.
I would still read it. It's good. It's
maybe if I know what happens, I won't be like as thrown for a loop, you know?
Yeah.
I'll be able to handle it a little better.
It was good. It was good. It was, my neighbor's scared to read it too. She said, I'm scared I can't handle it. I'm like, you can handle it.
Have you read Maybe Someday by her?
No. Is it good?
That's my favorite of her books. Okay. So
I don't have that one. I'll have to get it. I have November 8th though.
It's so good. It's
just ugly
love.
Yeah, I have that one too. That's on my TBR too.
Yeah, she's such an amazing author. Oh.
Yeah, just totally cool. Wow. Okay. Well, what advice do you have for aspiring writers?
That's a great question. One, which is so simple, is just to write. You know, you can really get bogged down with thinking about the publishing piece of things, but it's really, really important to hold on to writing as the number one priority. The other thing I would say is take classes, learn as much as you can. There's a lot of free information out there. I took a couple of writing classes and publishing classes when I was getting started by Alessandra Torre. She has she has a conference called Inkers Con, and she has Alessandra Torre Inc., which are digital classes you can take at any time. And that opened up so many doors for me. I learned so much from her. If you are just getting started, I highly recommend it. She also has a YouTube channel that has a lot of free information. And she has a newsletter for authors. She'll do free webinars a couple times a year as well. And she has been hugely, hugely helpful in my career. I'm so thankful for her. And I think that's wonderful. I listen to a lot of podcasts. You can just search in your whatever podcast app you have, and there's a gazillion of them. I do really recommend Joanna Penn's podcast called The Creative Pen, and that's pen with 2 N's. I have learned a lot from her. There's just so much information out there, and I really did take a lot of time when I was getting started to just take in as much as I could. You know, I was writing and I was like consuming information about writing. That was like all I was doing for months and months and months.
What did you do before you were a writer?
So I've done a little bit of everything. I lived in Los Angeles for almost 10 years. And so I worked a lot in the entertainment industry. I worked for writers and directors. I worked for a casting director, kind of did the gamut of things in that world.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun and really interesting.
I bet you have some good stories of that.
I do, for sure.
Do you have one that stands out that you could share with us?
I'm trying to think right now. I honestly can't think of like a really, really good one. It's just fun to kind of see the behind the scenes of how movies and TV get made. You know, it's really, really interesting. And it makes you look at things differently as a consumer.
Things are not always as they seem.
Oh, very true.
It's not as glamorous as we think.
For sure.
For sure. Awesome. Well, where else can we find you other than Catherine Cowles on author on Instagram?
So I hang out in a few different places the most. One is Instagram. The other is my Facebook reader group, which is just called Catherine Cowles Reader Group. You can just search it on Facebook and you'll find it. Okay. And also on Goodreads. I know some authors aren't a big fan of Goodreads, but I love it because I love seeing what other people are reading and sharing what I'm reading. And, you know, just interacting. I think it's really fun. So those are the places where I am the most. And if you want to keep up with me and what I'm doing, you can go to my website, catherinecowles.com, and there's a link there to sign up for my newsletter. I send it out usually twice a month, sometimes 3 times, and I'll share freebies of other author friends. I will share books that I've read and loved. I'm working on a list right now of some things that I've been obsessed with lately, which is always really fun to share. I'll give little tidbits of behind the scenes and that kind of thing.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. You guys do not forget to grab her free books down below, and you can pre-order. If you're like me, you'll burn through them all and you'll need them. So grab her 2 free books, which these ones, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I mixed up my pile, but you guys will love them. I love the mix of suspense, the romance, just depth, because life is messy, and you have realistic characters that take you for a ride that aren't always, unicorns and rainbows. So I love that about your books. So
thanks.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
This was so fun.
All right.